Well, moving on now, and 7 News has revealed for the last 8 years, New South Wales consumers have been unlawfully charged merchant fees on credit card transactions by government agencies.
Now, separate to the usual tap-and-go surcharges, these illegal fees total $144 million, with calls for the errors to be corrected and paid back. So to tell us more, we welcome Seven's finance expert, Gemma Acton. Hello, Gemma. So what's the latest on this 7 News investigation? What sort of transactions are they exactly?
Yes, so Carly, the thing is, we're waiting to hear. Like, this is $144 million, an enormous amount overall. It averages out to about $30 a person, which I'm sure everybody would be very gratefully taking back at this point if they could. We're waiting to hear if, how and when this will be refunded at all. But very clearly it's a egregious mistake, and 8 years is a long period to be doing this. So yeah, as you mentioned at the start, merchant surcharges, so different to what we've been talking about a lot recently with the tap and go.
So perhaps if you're paying, I'm just thinking some sort of government bill.
Yes.
Right. So online, and you're using your credit card to do it.
If you're trying to get your licence renewed.
Yes, for example.
That's an obvious example. So yes, you'll see a little thing at the bottom that says merchant fees. They shouldn't have been charged at all.
And
Good.
it's tough to get around, isn't it? Because you just assume it's going to be right.
You do, especially when it comes from the government. But yes, no, 7 News has been looking into this, and there'll be more to come. But unfortunately, we can't tell you yet there's any good news for anyone in terms of anything coming back.
OK, what about Australia Post? So stamps have gone up, deliveries have been scaled back, branches have been closed, but Australia Post CEO received a really hefty bonus. What can you tell us about that?
So it doesn't look good, does it?
No.
You know that it's there are fewer and fewer branches open. Deliveries now come every second day. Stamp prices have been going up and up and up and up for years, and yet we're seeing bonuses not just to the CEO but to many of the other executives as well. What Australia Post says is that we do better than people expected. We are operating under really tough conditions. Very few people are sending letters anymore. It's uneconomic. We're doing our absolute best. Not just that, we did better than we did last year, and we did better than we were expected to do. So they're the justifications for getting a bonus, but still, it's difficult, I think, when many consumers are pretty disappointed by the service they're getting.
To be fair, I don't think the stamp price is impacting on the general household budget. Do you?
Well, they've gone up.
When was the last time you bought a stamp?
Oh, it's been a while.
I buy stamps. I send thank you cards and birthday cards.
Oh,
yeah, but not enough to support the overall post system. But still a few.
But what about the explanation? We did better than expected. People don't expect much from us, and we eclipsed that.
That's the great thing about keeping bars low. Keeping the bar low.
Keep the bar low, and we'll eclipse it. Don't know about that.
That's the way we do what we do.
Under promise, over deliver, I think is the key phrase.
Gemma, it's looking like the big 4 banks will lower the rates on their fixed home loans. Yeah. Is there a catch? Because this sounds like good news.
So things have definitely been heading in the right direction for a while, with an expectation that the next move for interest rates will be down. Very likely not until next year, February, March or later, but it's looking fairly promising. So you're seeing banks move down. ANZ currently has the lowest of the fixed rates for the big 4 lenders. Which is great, and they came down recently, but you need to be a really strong customer, 20% deposit at least, and a good credit track record. 20% deposit used to be the norm, very standard. With house prices just so high these days, it is really tricky for people to cobble that together, especially if they're a bit younger, haven't been working for that long. So if you can't get that together, generally you're paying quite a lot more, and then you've got lender's mortgage insurance on top of that. So better and better rates, but for what the banks perceive as the best customers.
The good customers.
So this is interesting. Christmas, would you believe, less than 2 months away.
Better start saving for those stamps for the Christmas cards.
Actually, don't send Christmas cards.
Birthday cards, they had to be alive just how good you are.
I'm really rattled by stamps, aren't you, today? The supermarket giants are battling against the ACCC, of course, amid all of these claims of price gouging, but we're going to see Coles and Woolies competing really for the Christmas dollar. Yeah,
look, I think Coles and Woolies definitely want to get back into a lot of people's good books. A lot of people are very shaken by the allegations about price gouging, and Christmas is a great opportunity to do it. People have been tightening their purse strings all year, pulling back on treats and extravagances, but a lot of people do want to go that extra mile at Christmas, and we've already seen Christmas ham down to last year's prices, around $8 a kilo, and expect to see similar discounts and savings for turkey and seafood, and competition between the two there.
That's good. Speaking of all things celebration, 1 in 5 other Aussies getting into the Halloween spirit this year. It's everywhere in the shop.
Are you surprised?
Well, when I was younger, it wasn't really a thing, but my 2-year-old at daycare, they dressed up every day this week in their little outfits, so I guess it really is a thing now. 1 in 5 is a lot of Australians getting into it.
It is. How much are we expected to spend on this?
Around $450 million,
wow.
which sounds like a lot of money and is a lot of money, but it's actually quite substantially down on last year, nearly 10% less than last year.
Oh, that's interesting.
Again, with people just having less disposable income to throw around on special occasions. But yeah, it's a good time of year for retailers if you're selling makeup, if you're selling costumes, if you're selling sweets, obviously, and sort of lollies. And a lot of people host little parties, Halloween gatherings. So a bit of a spending boost, which will please the retailers before we head into Black Friday and Christmas sale season.
A good excuse to snack. Thank you, Gem.
Thanks, Gemma.